play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stastinko gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming series. It's December 31st, it's the last day of the year, and it wouldn't be the last day of the year without having a little bit of replay casts at the end of the season. So we're gonna get a couple of games in tonight. We've got a couple hours before the clock ticks into 2020. So let's get some games in. Welcome Silvara, good to see you. Thank you very much for the bits. Our first match of the night here is going to be Party Time versus Bread Rising Yeast Sports, coming out of Division B East. Some teams I am familiar with. And let's go ahead and just real quick here, do a quick look at the maps. What do we got for us here? Alrighty, so map bans out of Party Time: Cursed Hollow, Towers of Doom. And Bread Rising Yeast Sports banned out the Tomb of the Spider Queen and Sky Temple. The first map here is going to be picked by Party Time, and that's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. And I'm not going to show you standings because, you know, I don't want to give anything away. But let's go ahead and get right into it, actually, because I've got everything all set up and ready to go. Alrighty, on the left, it's going to be Party Time. So we've got Schumann on the Kael'thas, Chessclue on Muradin, Ekib on Greymane, Sealyman playing the Rhaegar, and Bishop Mist on the Imperius. And over here for Bread Rising Yeast Sports, it's going to be Lighthouse on Artanis, Duke of Sky playing Raynor, I think, Snaginus on the Mal'Ganis, Narina on Li Ming, and McGiblets on Stukov. Alright, so both of these teams have some race. We got the Li Ming, Artanis, Raynor, so a lot of race value here coming out from Bread Rising. A little bit less in general. The Greymane is the primary race here, but Muradin can certainly get into it, especially going into this Perfect Storm, and if he takes that, I think it's Sledgehammer at level 4, that's a lot of damage. And Kael'thas does greater than 0, so certainly some possibilities there as well. So we'll just have to keep an eye on these solo laners, see how Imperius and Artanis do. But ultimately, I think a lot of this is going to revolve around Bread Rising looking to race, and I imagine Party Time trying to prevent them from doing so. And Raider going into Ace in the Hole, so not going to have quite the race potential, although Li Ming did go into Force Armor. That gives her a little bit of mana sustain as well as the additional spell armor. So I think that's mostly for the self-sustain, because it's kind of a bait talent into like a Kael'thas, because Kael'thas' living bombs or Imperius's molten armor, those all proc. Even those little ticks proc, so you end up losing the value. You're not going to see a big value against, say, a Pyroblast. What else do we have that's a little different? I think this one's another one that we don't see quite as often. Consuming Flame here, getting additional damage from the center proc, and increasing the slow. Often we see the percent damage on that one. All right, well, there you go. Bishop Mist catching the Celestial Charge onto Artanis as he got low. Able to secure that kill. And Rainer's gonna have to head up here. We're at the 210 mark, is level 4 available for party time. You keep heading over to the Shaman camp on the left. Over here to the right, we've got McGiblets and Narina working on theirs. A little bit harder, I think, for them to get that value on the Shaman camp. So they'll probably be just a little bit behind if I had to guess. Just a little bit. As level 4 now picked up for Bread Rising as well here. And the lane pushed pretty far ahead. And with Artanis and Raynor, they're going to be able to pick this up pretty quickly. So that's going to give a double camp in the top lane for Bread Rising. Party Time picking up their own double camp in the bot lane. Mal'Ganis is going to get caught there, and looks like he's going to fall. That gravity lapse keeping him locked down, and the silence from Stukov not quite enough to prevent the incoming damage. And with this double camp, Party Time saying, yeah, you know what, let's get around to that Immortal later. We can push this right now. Do still have that double camp in the top lane though, and Bread Rising looking to do what they can with it. The Shaman down already. We're getting this rotation up here from the team of Party Time, but they look like they're going straight for the Immortal, yeah. And Lighthouse is already sitting at about half health with a living bomb now. I think split off from the Immortal possibly there. Raynor though, falling very low, is gonna have to pull back. Artanis getting that Celestial Charge, so is able to get the shield, but that's gonna go down quickly as Murden and Greymane diving in. Mal'Ganis trying to slow down what he can from the front line. But halftime already going over here to the side of Party Time, and they're gonna finish melting this pretty quickly. Because at least for right now, the primary race on the side of Bread Rising is Artanis. And Artanis was not on the map at that point. He was busy in the graveyard. Level 7's available here, so it is going to be that cleanse for Rhaegar. Also the delayed explosion here, Blaze of Glory, so getting that additional burst of damage. Murden going into the... give him the axe, so anytime a hero is slowed or stunned, he's going to do extra damage. Or rooted, I guess. I don't think they have any roots, though. And Rhaegar going in onto the Mal'Ganis. Oh, Mal'Ganis spreading the fire over to McGiblets. Stukov trying to make it out, but Greymane able to throw out one last dart, one last bullet, and finish that off. And that's going to be the first fort of the game here, going over to Party Time. All the while in the bot lane, Artanis working on that XP. And we see here Bread Rising going into the Calamity build, Li Ming. So she's not going to have quite the same race potential as she could have. So really the only race, specifically race talents they have, come from Artanis with that amateur opponent. So they really need to make sure that he is there and alive. The swap going out onto Iki, but this fort taking just 80% or so of its health. And they pull back. Pretty solid push out of this first Immortal, getting the top fort and most of the bottom fort. We're going to see both teams looking at this bottom siege camp here. Right now a slight advantage over to Party Time as they're up a level. Bread Rising trying to get some kind of fight going here before level 10 comes in, but a double Celestial Charge here. And Raynor getting very low. Does not spread the living bomb. They also don't have Artanis, so this is all 5v4. Murden very slow under the tower, but able to jump out before the minions go away here. Silence as Murden missing that Stormbolt. So nobody dies and no camp taken. At least not yet. Kael'thas is going to come down here and get things started, it looks like. But we do get the camp up top, and of course Linehouse riding that Pignata. One of the best, if not the best, mounts in the game. I think the Chihuahua also on the top of that list. Toy train mount could be on the top of that list if it didn't have a whistle that went off every 5 seconds. And with level 10s available here for party time, we're gonna see Bread Rising just ultimately try to save the fort. They were a little late for that. But they're gonna have to clean up the lanes here, try to gather that level 10 as quickly as possible. Because they can't really fight into this. Oh, they don't care. They're going to try to poke at it. They do have the Leeming, the Stormbolt missing there from Muradin, so ultimately about 20% of the Immortal already down. And level 10s for both sides now. It is going to be the Pyroblast mentioned earlier, as well as the Angelic Armaments there, Ancestral Healing, Go for the Throat, and Avatar. And that's for party time here. As Muradin diving in. Kael'thas gonna get a big flame strike there. It's gonna be Ancestral going out onto the Muradin, and Pyroblast coming in onto Artanis is gonna take him out. He's not quite able to get that shield back up. Carrion Swarm interrupted, and that looks like it should be a kill onto Mal'Ganis, and they will get that kill. That's gonna give party time the opportunity now to get back onto the Immortal. Muradin coming back in. The Celestial Charge just missing. That should have been a kill onto Stukov. It may still... But it looks like he's going to make it out. Li Ming trying to get the kill onto Muradin, but just barely not able to. Just about 100, 150 health there. But all the while, Siege Camp in the bottom, working on that tower for them. Choo-choo, exactly, Lulu. Yep, the sound of that train, sound of the pain train coming. Second Immortal of the game going to go over to party time. It's going to head up into the top lane where it went earlier as well. That Siege Camp in the bot lane getting that tower down forces, I guess most of the way because it's still here, but most of the damage there forces the Immortal into the top lane. So Muradin looking for something, but he finds himself just a whole lot of red bars. Does get the stun onto Artanis as well as that slow. So he's going to get some of that give him the axe value. And level 13s will be up here soon for party time as well. Stormbolt misses there. Raynor trying to poke out the Greymane. Greymane doing the same to Raynor. And this Immortal still has a fairly decent shield here, so it's going to get some value onto the keep before it falls. Chesclu getting very low, but does pop the Avatar as Mal'Ganis trying to put the team to sleep. But Shenanigans there is going to go ahead and spread a living bomb. Pops the Carrion Swarm, but it's going to be Li Ming falling. And we've got Angelic Armaments coming out looking for the Imperius. Didn't even matter. Greymane took care of that with Go for the Throat. The stun onto Mal'Ganis. The Celestial Charge as well. And even with a 4-man silence, that's going to be a triple kill for party time. And now they're looking on to core. And there's... These Death Arms are fairly short, but they've got a lot of damage coming out of that Greymane and Kael'thas, and even, you know, Muradin and Rhaegar throwing in some as Celestial Charge gonna get onto the Stukov there. But it looks like Duke of Sky just saying, you know what, I don't want my KDA ruined. I don't see any way that we stop this, so I'm gonna hang out in the base. That's gonna be game number 1 going over to party time. Nine kills to 0, very strong showing there. And I think, you know, some of that was just simply the circumstances there of passing the living bombs. I think if they had a little bit better positioning on some of that, then, you know, they wouldn't have gotten quite so many deaths, especially at the end there. Yeah, they had a little bit of a struggle there. Let's see, what do we got for game number 2? So game number 2 is going to be the other of the 2 most commonly picked maps in Nexus Gaming Series Season 8. It's going to be Infernal Shrines. And it was also the pick of party time. Take a look at those talents there. Just barely got those level 13 talents near the end there. Alrighty. I had to remember which screen to go to. It's been so long since I've done any casting, you know, that had to double check. Let's see. All right, so let's get these teams updated here. So what's everybody doing tonight? Obviously, you don't have greater plans because you're here. Well, depending on the time that we finish, it could be the first cast of the year. Sorry, what I meant to say was, obviously you have the best plans because you're here. See? It's all in how you look at it. It's not an insult. It's merely identifying what's important. But guess what? Game number 2 is ready to go. So we're gonna get this loaded up. And we're gonna have some fun heroes here. I think some role switching. Huh. Okay, I just noticed what's going on here. Okay, alright. So let me get rid of this overlay and pause this and get you guys into this game, shall we? Game number 2 between Party Time and Bread Rising Yeast Sports. Let's get this going. On the left, it's going to be Party Time. Ekeep's going to be playing that Malthael. Chess Clue on the ETC. Bishop Mist playing Hanzo. Schumann on Gul'dan. Let's see, and Sealyman on Ana. And over here for Bread Rising Yeast Sports, looking to equalize this series, we've got Snagananahes, also known as Shenanigans Backwards, playing Johanna. McGiblets on Anduin, Linehouse on Lili, Narina on Orphea, and Duke of Sky playing Kael'thas. So we have a double support comp over here from double support, double mage from Bread Rising Yeast Sports. And basically all their shrine clears in the Kael'thas, somewhat in the Johanna as well. So they're going to have to... Gosh, I don't know. That's going to be really tough. I mean, they got to rely on living bombs being spread and Orphea being able to get, you know, significant burst damage with her full combo, or they just will never get a kill. And their heroes are still pretty squishy. Like Lili and Johanna are probably their least squishy to run with. But like a Kael'thas and Orphea and Anduin, I mean, all three of those heroes can get CC'd down by a Hanzo Aero, for example, put to sleep and then just killed. So gonna have to be careful. That does give them 2 cleanses. They've got the Let's Go out of Lili potentially at level 7. Of course, Leap of Faith from Anduin all the time. You don't see a solo laning Lili very often. Hey. House is obviously not a fan of the solo lane Lili. Oops, sorry. Slight adjustment on the screen there. So we've got the mid siege camps there being picked up by both teams. But it's going to be bottom lane here. ETC coming in, using that face, trying to knock the team back. And it's only Johanna that can stay on the point. Only needs to be Johanna on the point. That's another thing you really got to be mindful of when you're playing with Johanna is, you know, Johanna can stay on that point. Keep her alive, and you don't need 15 other people to pack in there. One sec, gotta sneeze. Alrighty then, back into the game. We got this solo lane matchup between Lily, and Malthael. And that's about all there is to say about that. Self-healing, relatively low wave clear from the Lily. Obviously, Malthael has the advantage there, and that's going to give him time to get the top camp. Alright, I think the sneezes are done, hopefully. So we're gonna get the rotation up here from Bread Rising Yeast Sports so that they can get their shaman camp as well. Obviously, these are the only camps left on the map. They got all the other ones earlier. But right now, just a very slight XP advantage over to Party Time as Johanna trying to catch up with all of this in the mid lane here. And so far, we've got target practice there for Hanzo sitting at 1 stack. So he's got a few heroes there still to catch up on. ETC halfway done with his prog rock. It's going to be the Fell Flame quest here for Gul'dan called Pursuit of Flame, increasing the radius there of his flames. And 14 globes here for Kael'thas on that Mana Addict. Looking for that shield here. We'll check in with Hanzo in a moment to see who he's missing when we're not in the middle of the fight. Johanna getting a big condemn there. Shoeman was gravity lapsed, but not going to fall. Again, just the 1 damage there from Kael'thas, not going to be enough to take anybody out here. So far, 23-10 now on the Shrine. And this first one's going to be the Arcane Punisher as well, so it's a little bit weaker in the early game. But with level 7 coming up here for both teams, the fight changes a little bit. So we do get that cleanse. We've got the Subdue talent as well for Johanna. So big slow potential from her as we see that right there. Bishop Mist having to jump over the wall. ETC even taking a lot of damage, but it's going to be Kael'thas who's falling first. And Shenanigans getting pretty low here overall for Johanna. Doesn't have a lot of health or mana even, so having to really be careful here. Orphea also doesn't have any mana, is going to be able to make it out. And it's going to be McGiblets coming back as well. So that 1 kill onto the Kael'thas really forced the entire team to have to pull back, because it's very difficult to kill anybody when you've only got an Orphea. At least at this level. Alright, let's take a look at those Hanzo stacks. How are we doing on those? So he's got 2 now. He's missing 1 shot on Lily, 2 on Orphea, and has not yet hit Anduin. So ultimately, Anduin preventing him from getting that extra range. And Punisher gets pulled over the wall here, so it's taken about half of its damage so far. Lily in the mid lane there with Malthael. And the Punisher gonna leap into the back line onto Kael'thas. But he does have the healer there, Anduin, keeping him nice and healthy here. Linehouse and Ekib. Ekib falling down to about half health. I think he was taking some tower shots there, just based on what the health bars look like up there at the top of your screen. But Ekib able to get around pretty quickly with this on a pale horse. So he's able to basically double soak these lanes. And there's no chance that Linehouse can keep up double soaking if they actually do go for that. So have to keep an eye on that as the living bomb value spreading there. And Lily just barely sneaking ahead of that ETC. That could have been very problematic if Lily had been hit by a power slide there. Bottom camp's going to be picked up already. Level 10s aren't very far away either, so ETC's going to get caught, rooted, and stunned, but sitting still at half health, even with the full combos coming out there. So looks like Johanna's going to head down into the bot. They do have level 10s now here for Party Time. And it looks like they're just going to elect to push with the siege camp here in the bot lane while they can. They've got those level 10s. This is going to be the Horrify, Mosh Pit, Dragon Arrow, Nano Boost, and Last Rites. And level 10's coming up now here for Bread Rising. So we've got the Blessed Shield, the Jug of 1,000 Cups, Phoenix, Eternal Feast, and here comes the Light Bomb. hitting on to 3 with the Eternal Feast, getting the double kill. And that's what they needed. They needed that full combo chain to get everybody up in the front there, get some damage out, get that big stun out of the light bomb. Also using the blessed shield. So that said, their combos are all down for a bit here. They're all relatively short cooldowns though. We don't have any 2-minute cooldowns. They're all 60 seconds, basically 60, 70 seconds. Not quite able to cook the cow on this one. He's gonna make it back, go ahead and get a tap in and make his way back out. A lot of potential here set up for the mosh pit. We've got sleep darts, we've got the dragon arrow, we've got power slide. Technically you could even look at the horrify as a potential. It's a little bit harder to control that one. I mean, obviously it's run away from the central point of the fear, but it still is like, it's a cast time, so people move. So it can be a little difficult to get that positioned exactly where you want it. But not being able to control your character gives ETC the opportunity if he can get in there. All right, Shaman Camp picked up. They'll meet here in the lane. There's no catapults there, so eventually that'll equalize out. And this is where it's going to be a little difficult, because now with Party Time already on the point, I think this really favors them. I think it's a lot harder for Bread Rising to get in, but they get the kill onto the Mouth Ale. There goes the living bomb, or light bomb rather. Big dragon arrow in the back line is going to stall out the advance. And there's no ultimates here, although Chest Clue is getting very low, is going to fall, so 2 kills. So they basically just said, screw Aero, we don't give a crap about what he thinks. We'll just come into this and get 2 kills again. So there you go, Red Rising. They get a strong showing there. Hanzo trying to get the last few with some Stormbow shots. Gul'dan sitting, puts him at to 38. So only 2 left to go here. And it will be picked up by Gul'dan there using that Fell Flame. So this Mortar Punisher is going to head into the bot lane for Party Time. Level 13's picked up by Bread Rising though, having the advantage in talents for only a moment, but still long enough. Puts them ahead. And don't see a whole lot of this one. Dark Bargain getting the additional health, but his respawn timer is a little bit longer, so really looking for the opportunity to not die when these combos come out. So the Punisher's going to go down. We see that Sonic Arrow scouting out, and the Siege Camp picked up here for Party Time going into that mid lane, as Gul'dan heading into the bot lane, maybe looking for this one as well. And it looks like Bread Rising doesn't really have any idea that this is taking place. With the Mouth Ale up top, I think they were looking to invade here and take a fight, especially with basically all their cooldowns up. They don't have the Phoenix, but I mean, if there was one that they didn't have, I think that's the one that would be okay for them to not have. And now they have it anyways, so. Johanna looking, has both of the DPS. That's 80% subdue slow. The Eternal Feast only getting 1 hit there, and it's going to be the cleanse onto, double cleanse, sorry, onto Orpheus. Goes right back into the mosh pit. Oh, feels bad. The kill onto Kael'thas, and they're looking for more. Oh, the body blocks hitting 3 into that wall. The light bomb going out, keeping Johanna alive for just a few more moments there, as Anduin trying to get away is not going to be able to. So this time a triple kill going in the other direction. That equals up the kill count now 4-4. But the bigger challenge here is that with those kills, Party Time is going to be able to get onto this second fort for them. Maybe even could head up to the third fort up in the top. With Anduin still down for a while and Johanna. They can clear up this minion wave, get all that XP, probably get to level 16, and then force this fort down. And that appears to be what they're going to do. Flawless technique here for Hanzo. So going into the basically swapping the abilities around. So you attack somebody, you get a big burst damage bonus on your storm bow, and then vice versa. Speaking of Hanzo, let's check in. Who's he missing now? So he did eventually get that hit onto Anduin. Still needs 2 more, along with 2 more on Orphea. And with the talent advantage, they're going to come in, get to work up on the top here. And Red Rising is Hearthing in the lane, coming back to try to push this back. And this is so much value because now Party Time has the opportunity right there. Shrine, the Punisher's going to be coming into this top lane. It's going to give a frozen Punisher. So if Party Time can pick this up, it's immense value for them. Like potentially game-ending value for them. All of the ultimates are available. And I think they just gotta get their 16s. 16s give the ignite there for Kael'thas. I'm not entirely sure which level 16 Orphea is gonna end up taking there. Johanna's got a couple of options. Of course, the Anduin can get that inner focus for double the healing potential there. And Orphea getting just massive value onto the ETC, but they're not quite able to get the kill. Light Bomb does go out and it hits. They do get the kill eventually there. The Light Bomb helping to secure that as they get the Hanzo and the Ana as well. And Johanna's going to take a bunch of damage there from the last rites, but ultimately will survive a 4-for-1 trade. Could be 2 if they're not careful here. They need to keep that Kael'thas alive because he's the only way they clear these minions quickly. And I'd kind of like to see Johanna just like, there's nobody up, it's just Gul'dan. Like, you don't need to hold that bush. Just get down here and clean up this lane so that you can get some push, and this Punisher goes, you know, either straight up into the fort, or, you know, if you can get enough push, get the fort down even before it comes up. They do have their full team up too. I mean, probably not a great idea to do a 39 count and then, you know, go get some camps, just because everybody's going to be up, and they definitely have more shrine clear on the side of Party Time here. So they do get the full wall down, so it's a lot harder for them to defend. Now, that said, Orphea is not with them, and this is looking like a very dangerous place. There goes the Blessed Shield. Here comes the Light Bomb. They're gonna get a kill onto the Malthael, and ETC zipping out of there. Does not want anything to do with this. Punisher landing onto 3. Again, no Orpheus, so the kill potential is largely based on whether the Punisher can help them. Although the living bombs being spread, certainly helping that out. And now, once again, Red Rising has a little bit of an advantage here in the XP. They're slightly ahead on the time to 20. And I think this is the time that they go ahead and start getting ready to back out. Like, you're not going to get that tower in time, so pull back. They do have Orphea with them, and they've got most of their ultimates, but not all of them yet. I think, you know, the ultimate's coming up here soon. And these team fights have been going in their favor because of those ultimates. So if they, I mean, they could even just say, hey, you know what, let's go invade this. That's what they're going to do. They've got all their ultimates, so need to be careful here, though. This is a position that ETC's wanting to get a mosh pit, and everybody's spread out, so it's difficult to get the mosh pit he wants. So they're just going to have to pull back. They don't want to lose anybody here. They don't want to be in a position where they give the opportunity then for Party Time to get level 20 first. KT killing everyone, right? Yeah. And he did much the same in game number 1 for the other team. The living bomb spread has been real. So both siege camps here picked up for party time. That's going to put them very slightly ahead now to 20. ETC getting caught in the stun into the Eternal Feast. He's going to make it out. Horrify being used to split up the entire team minus Johanna. And Malthael is coming down now to join the fight. Never mind, he's going to go back up. He wants to get that level 20, and they're very close. Both teams here a minion wave or two away from level 20. And we see Ekib up by himself in the top, so at least for now, Red Rising feels fairly confident. That said, they don't have any ultimates right now, so they have to be extremely careful. If they take a fight without ultimates, I think they just lose it. Assuming that the living bombs don't get spread, of course. Like, if they just all stand together, then yeah, okay. Both teams have level 20. This is the fight that Party Time wants, although I don't think they know that the status of their ultimates here. So, pretty much everything as I would kind of expect. I like the Blinded by the Light because you already have a fairly squishy team, but here comes ETC looking... But he was by himself, so he couldn't really, like... Good on him to wait to pull the trigger on that. But it's going to be Hanzo going down first here. Light Bomb going out. Malthael coming down next. As Lily popping the Jug of 1,000 Cups. All of the ultimates used elsewhere there. The big slow coming out onto Ana Gul'dan. Gul'dan's going to use that Demonic Circle, get out of dodge. But Sealyman not so lucky. Doesn't have that opportunity. And Chess Clue now is going to have to pull back. And I like this call. They've got a Shaman camp coming in. They prepped this earlier, so there's only one tower available. And they've got a minion wave coming in along with a Shaman camp. So, I mean, this should easily be a keep. And depending on they don't have great clear on the keep. They don't have great single target here. They need to, yeah, they need to keep those minions coming forward here, or Gul'dan will just keep poking them forever. So still 20 seconds, and unfortunately, I don't think they have the ability to take the core. If they had like a Raynor, a Greymane, or a Varian, or an Illidan, or any of those things, I think they probably could have, Lunara, they probably could have just gone straight for core there, but instead they're going to have to come in here, get set up onto the Punisher, and push out their lanes a little bit. Now, if they're going to push the lanes out, I don't think this is, like, they need to pull back right now. They do have all the ultimates, but they're not in a great spot. And here comes ETC. He's looking for the potential Mosh. He does have his team nearby. They don't have Ana. And both teams have them all. This could go either way at this point. Gul'dan getting some damage with the pokes, getting that corruption along with the Fell Flames. Phoenix is going to go down, trying to get value onto the point here. Storm Shield used for ETC. ETC is going to get a Mosh, going to pull out the Orphea, as well as the Lily there, so a double leap of faith. Shenanigan's going to have the last rites, and that's going to be a kill onto the Johanna, and that's brutal, because now there's nobody to stand up in front. And we're going to see Lily fall. Next, we're going to see the Orphea fall. Anduin going to fall. And KT has absolutely nothing. He's got nothing in the tank. He's going to get one gravity lapse. But I think he actually got caught by ETC stun. So that's going to be a 5-0 full team wipe here. And yeah, Party Time has the potential to be able to kill this core. They've got that sustained damage between Hanzo and Gul'dan. They're going to kill this keep. They do even have one catapult nearby. I don't think it's quite enough to do anything because it's going to get stuck there. And this looks like it's going to be Party Time. I really thought this was going to be a 3-game series, but Party Time ultimately taking advantage of the two heroes that were back there, recognizing the opportunity that they had there, and getting the fight, getting that kill onto Johanna, and succeeding in the game. So there you go. $10 kills to 12, the 10 kill team winning it. They were sitting at 5 before the very end of the game. Feels bad, man. That was unfortunate. Like I said, I really thought that Bread Rising was gonna pull that one off. They were doing really well with those combos. They, in all seriousness, did way better than I thought they were at the beginning of the game. I thought that at the beginning of the game they just weren't really in the place that they needed to be. But they did a good job of keeping the Johanna up. But as soon as they lost that Johanna at the end, it was just a bloodbath, and there really wasn't anything they could do about it. All right, well, let's take a look here. So, where are the standings at for these two teams now? So, Party Time sitting currently in 3rd place of the Division B East here. Taking a quick look, Party Time has played 5 games. Let's see. So they lost 2-1 over or under Salt Scale Murgles. They won 2-1 over Tiny Dancers. They won 2-0 over Bread Rising Yeast Sports, as we just saw. 2-0 over Chaos of the Waking Dragon, and lost 1-2 against Regen Phoenix. Bread Rising has currently played 4 games, so they're 1 game behind. They lost to Boogan Squad 2-0. They defeated Demonic Entity Within 2-0. Obviously, we just saw this one, Party Time 2-0, and then they were defeated by Salt Scale Murgles 2-0. So there you go. That's the update on these teams in Division B East. 2-0 Party Time over Bread Rising Yeast Sports. We've got another game coming up here for you in just a moment, and that is going to be House of Ches versus Please Clap, coming from these 2 matches were just the oldest matches that were not that were on this patch. So there you go. But thanks for pointing that out, Lulu. I appreciate it. The next match is going to be House of Ches versus Please Clap. This is a Division C East. I mean, guys, they were the ones that were at the top of the list. I just went to the top of the list and said, who are the next 2 games? But, you know, idioms, there's a channel points option. Just saying. There's a thing for that. So, anyways, House of Ches, Please Clap. We'll be back in just a few minutes as I get everything set up for this next match. Be right back.